Hello and welcome to Talking Books. I'm Jill de Villiers. Today we're going to talk about mastering money and the skill of personal financial psychology. My guest is a native South African who grew up in Soweto and moved to the United States, where she studied at university, worked on Wall Street, and now runs her business Future Gen Leaders. She is Thembi Buthelezi, and the book under discussion is Financially Empowered, Unshackle Yourself from Money Anxiety to Build a Compelling and Adventurous Financial Legacy. Thembi, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm so freaking grateful. Thank you.
Oh, it's great to have you
so
here.
Much.
Tell me about your company first, before we start looking at the book. When did you start the company? Why did you start it? And what do you do?
Yeah, so 12 years ago, I retired from Wall Street. So I was trading the financial markets in America, and it was during the recession. I was shorting the whole US stock market. And then I just realized that there was more to life than just money and chasing money. So I retired and I moved back to Las Vegas, and I decided that I wanted to actually teach what I learned on Wall Street. I wanted to teach people how the 1% think, because I had learned it and it was my responsibility to teach others. So I started teaching stock market trading, and then I was like, people are suffering from money anxiety. So that was my bridge from stock market to teaching people how to manage their money, to then empowering the youth to be entrepreneurs and strong in financial psychology so they can build strong businesses.
Now, the feminist movement put a lot of emphasis on women and what women want and what they need, right, as well. And in this whole process, over the many years that the emphasis has been on feminists and women, the men have suffered.
Yes.
And that is what you discovered, and you've become a champion for men, especially for young men.
Yes, yes.
Tell me why.
My dad is a huge component of my experience and my wanting to be a woman in finance. And what I saw in him was the struggle with emotions. Men are never given an opportunity to go, I am in pain right now. Right? As women, you and I can get together and go, girl, I'm in pain right now. And you can say, come to my house, let's have some wine. And we talk about what is harming us, what is terrorizing us at 3 o'clock in the morning. Men don't talk about their emotions. Men bottle it all up. And then when they get really upset, they punch. They only can deal with one emotion, anger. So I started seeing this trend on Wall Street, men jumping out of windows and committing suicide, young men taking a lot of prescription medication, drugs, alcohol. I was like, as women, we know how to handle our emotions. Men were never taught that. So that's why I became a champion and started working with global CEOs, really coaching them on how to handle their emotional and getting emotional intelligence. But now starting to work with young people in colleges and in high school, because emotional intelligence is the key to success in any endeavor, in any area of your life.
So it's emotional intelligence, but it's also how you think about money.
Correct.
That determines how much money you actually make, or if you have anxiety about money, you bring down a wall to bring money into your life. You actually shut money out, right, by being anxious about it.
Constantly. So if you're anxious, your brain is not working, your brain is not coherent, right? Men use their left hemisphere. They have more neurosynapses on their left hemisphere. That means they have more ability to create solutions. When you say to a man, hey, money, they're like, I need to find a solution to get more money. As women, we use our emotional brain, but can also use our left brain, which is left and right. So if you're not coherent within your left and right brain, you live based on one side of your hemisphere of your brain, you always live in anxiety because you're not using both sides of your brain. As women, we can switch. We haven't been taught how to go out there and make money. Men have been taught that. But that's why the woman movement has been so great. As a woman, we can use both sides of our hemisphere, of our brain, and we can go out and make money and we're successful. Men can't. So when you're stressed out all the time, you don't see opportunities. You always are in your head and you're not able to see, oh, that's an opportunity I could get money. That's an opportunity I can use to build a business. And if it doesn't work, then that's when you crash. That's when you jump out of a building. That's when you have to start taking medication.
And the societal expectations as well around men is that they should go out and they should provide.
Right.
There is no way for them to sit back and say, I have a problem. How do you come over that? How do you reach through those CEOs and those high-level men who have reached that point in their life where they don't know what to do?
Yeah. I mean, I think as women, we need to talk to our children. Number one, we need to teach our children from a very young age that it's okay as a boy, young man, to say, I'm in pain, right? It's okay to teach our children that. But as a woman who's worked with a lot of men, I allow men to cry. I allow men to completely break down in the privacy of our coaching calls or in the privacy of our whatever we're doing together, because sometimes men can't go home to their wives and say, I am in emotional turmoil right now. Because then he's going to lose face with his wife. And as a man, I have to be the breadwinner and I have to be the strong one. So I think they should, I'm constantly advocating for more women to allow men to be vulnerable. Because if I can allow you to be vulnerable as a man, you're going to trust me. Number one. And number two, when you see a business opportunity, you're going to say, Thembi has helped me here, and now I can help her here. So it starts in the home when these men are young, teaching them as moms that it's okay to cry. And in the workplace, men should be given a place where they can just go let it out. Just let it out. No shame, no judgment. Just let it out. You feel better. You feel better. Yeah.
You tell a story in your book about being on a plane and sitting next to a man who had, in Las Vegas, got completely drunk, and you could smell him. Tell us about that experience and how you reached through to him and what you achieved in that flight.
Right. So I was on a flight from Las Vegas to Miami. I am a business consultant and a speaker. So I walk in, and my seat is the window seat, and he's sitting in the aisle. I was like, Jake, hey, can I please jump over? I need to get in my seat. He gets up, and then he falls over immediately after he gets up, because he stunk of Jack Daniels, totally stunk of Jack Daniels. And because I've lived in Las Vegas and I've served alcohol to a lot of men when I was in college, I knew that something was going on. I had a guy in Las Vegas pay me $10,000 US for 4 hours as a waitress to tell me about his marital problems, right? Because men don't go to therapy and say, you know what, I have marital problems. They just drink. So I inherently knew that this guy on the airplane was having some kind of emotional turmoil. That's why he was so drunk. So when I sat next to him, I just let him kind of like carry on drinking his Jack Daniels for about 45 minutes. Then I started probing. Hi, Jake, how are you? My name is Thembi. American men love women with accents, so he started opening up and telling me he was going through the 4 stages of a man's life adventure. So when men get to an age of 40, they lose the balance of their mind, because what is happening is they're having chemical change in their body. Number one, they're having emotional change, and they're going through midlife crisis. But men don't want to know or be told, hey, you're going through a midlife crisis. So working with men for so long, I was able to pull it out of him just by asking probing questions. What's going on? Why are you so drunk? I'm not judging you. Why are you so drunk today? Then he's just started crying. He just started telling the truth. We don't allow people to tell the truth. We want people to be, I'm strong, I got it all figured out. Nobody has it all figured out. I hurt just as much as you hurt. Men hurt just as much as women hurt. So for me, my message is, let's just be honest, because then we help each other.
Now, talking about honesty, you are very, very honest in the book about your own life and your own pain that you've been through, which makes the reader trust you and believe you and want to learn from you. So I also like the quotes that you use at the top of every chapter. There was one quote that about money that I rather liked. It's from Rumi.
Yes.
And Rumi said, if you want money more than anything, you will be bought and sold. If you have a greed for food, you will become a loaf of bread. This is a subtle truth. Whatever you love, you are.
Yeah. I love Rumi. I can say that I'm a philosopher more than anything else, more than a trader, more than anything. I'm a philosopher. Because I finally understood when I was working on Wall Street that 80% of the decisions we make in life are based on what's going on up in here and what's going on up in here, right? So heart-mind connection is really where it's happening. And if you look at when you, yesterday I went to Pick and Pay, if you look at Pick and Pay, when you're just about to check out, they have all of the candy there, the sweets and the chocolates and the stuff, impulse buying. So I bought a chocolate. I don't know why I bought that chocolate. It was impulse buying. But it was the child in me that wanted that chocolate, that connected to my brain where I took the chocolate and now had to pay. So with that quote from Rumi, if you love money more than anything else, you will be bought and sold. If your love for money is more than your love for humanity, is more than your love for yourself and self-respect, I can come to you and say, I got a Forex scheme. You want to get in? Yes. And even though you won't even question whether it's right for you and your family, you'll just go because that's where the money is and that's where your love is. But if you love thinking, if you love reading, if you love humanity, if you love yourself and respect yourself, you actually have a thought process and go, maybe that's not right for me. Maybe that's just not a good business idea for me, you know?
Now, through all of this, you don't say money is not important.
Yes, I love money. Yeah. I love money. Money loves me.
So it's the way you think about money. If you think about money in the right way, with the right humanity and the right humility, money will come to you and you don't have to chase it. Essentially,
I've never had to chase money, Jill. I grew up so poor. I grew up in a one-car garage. I used to sleep on a concrete floor till I was 17. But I read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He said if you use your mind and are willing to think, you can have whatever it is that you want. That was a bold statement that I read at the age of 12 years old. But I hung on to that statement. I hung on to it. So I saw opportunities. I was like, oh, I can be a telemarketer. So I started off as a telemarketer selling stock market trading programs. Opportunity, how I thought about money. It wasn't, I come from poverty, so therefore I will never amount to anything. I was like, I come from poverty, but I have a mind. I can think. I have a heart. I can hustle. I can have whatever it is that I want. So for me, yes, it's always how you think about money, how you think about yourself, the level of self-esteem that allows you to have the money. You don't chase. It comes to you because you feel and you know you are worthy of it. So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us.
I am so grateful. So grateful.
It was great having you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jill.
So just to recap, my guest is Thembi Buthelezi and the book is Financially Empowered, Unshackle Yourself from Money Anxiety to Build a Compelling and Adventurous Financial Legacy. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon.